target was strategically placed across a chasm. This seemed like the opportunity to give Alexander my perfect gift.
Looks like this is the time.
Time for what?
I have a gift for you. It's been a long time coming.
Really?
Let me see here. Ah, yes, here we go. Your very own bow. Now we can finally be the dueling archers we were meant to be.
Oh, a bow. Thanks. You shouldn't have.
Give it a try.
Like, this?
Bad form.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. Let me make one minor correction. There.
Oh.
Tell me when.
Visualize the target coming to you. Oh, you were close.
Yeah.
Well, the gift is stunning. I'll keep practicing. Oh, hey, I have another idea.
You do?
Yeah, it's a bit of magic I learned from the sorcery of old.
Manny's magic book?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite easy. First you get fired up, and then you snap.
Oh, the trauma.
I'm not a fan of that sound.
But isn't it cool?
I don't know about that dark magic, son. It can be very dangerous. I've seen firsthand what it can do.
Don't worry about it. I can handle it. Magic is all about who wields it. You want me to teach you?
I think it's best if we move along. Your mother and sister are waiting.
Come on, it's easy. Just tap into your inner emotions and snap.
Sounds easy for a teenager.
Well, I've been learning all day from you. Can you just try for me? Come on, Dad. You gotta get more fired up.
There. Nothing, see? Now can we refrain from snapping for the rest of this trip? Sound echoes in here. This old man can't take it.
I just wanted to chime in and say that magical solutions are perfectly valid in this labyrinth.
Well, that's not how we do things in Daventry.
All right.
I was starting to detect a little bit of a bad attitude in Alexander. How was I supposed to guide his arrow through life if he never took a shot?
And welcome back. I know that a lot of people don't really like the fact that Graham is very anti-magic, Alex. They see it as weird. They see it as, like, why are they conflicting on this? Just let him use magic. It's cool and it's part of his character. But, like he said, he's seen firsthand what magic can do, especially dark magic like that. It can be used to hurt people. It can be used to imprison people. Magic can be dangerous. Magic is useful. But it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. It's not completely useless, but like, there's a time and a place. And also, I'm just glad to have a Graham who actually, reacts towards the fact that he has magic at all. Because most friends of Graham, they either don't mention it at all, or they just have it be just like, oh, that's cool. It's fine, whatever. There's no emotional reaction to this. Plus, what he experienced at the beginning of this chapter kind of would sour him towards magic. If Alexander hadn't been kidnapped that night, and Manny hadn't taunted him with that getting away with just a snap of his fingers like that, he probably would be a lot more accepting of that. And, like I said, I think he's fine with magical items. He's just not fine specifically with spellcasting. Something like potions or magical items, like, say, for example, a cat cookie, or potions, or what have you, in moderation, with caution, is fine. But Alexander is not being cautious. He's being very cocky about this. And to an extent, I do understand that. Especially if that's all that you have going for yourself. That's all that you know. That's all that you love. That's all you can be attached to. Of course, you consider it a big part of yourself. Of course, you don't want that taken away. You don't want that stifled. You want to enjoy it. You want to share it with everybody else. You want to have them relate to you. And frankly, I like that aspect of Alexander here. I like the fact that they emphasize his magic and they make it clear that he just doesn't see it as just another tool in his toolbox like classic Alexander would. Classic Alexander did. Reboot Alexander has basically made it a part of his identity. To have his own father deny that part of his identity. That's not exactly very cool, is it? Pun very much intended. But we know for a fact that things will work out. Because it didn't, Gwendolyn would not be hearing the story, you know?
I love it when Dad does magic. Why couldn't you just let him be?
For 18 years, Gwendolyn, I painted an image in my head of who my son would be. I was learning quickly, however, that my imaginary portrait was a bit off model.
Alright, I guess I'll head down there. You shoot the switches with your arrows. So primitive.
If I could just snap my fingers and make you gentlemen magically get along, I would. Sadly, I lack the opposable thumbs to perform such a feat.
Where should I start?
Thanks, you do not need to comment on every single moment that we're together like this. I love it when Dad does magic. That kind of implies that Graham eventually did accept that. Like, obviously he's not going to tell him how to perform his own duties in his own home. They both need to learn things, I think. And also, when you think about it, Alexander's situation is at least a little bit different from his classic counterpart. Classic Alexander learned it to survive and get away from Manannan. This Alexander was raised with a less heavy death toll on his head. This Alexander was raised, you're going to be great someday. Under my teachings, you're going to take over Daventry someday. Or at least that was Manny's initial intent, anyway. I'm not necessarily sure if he succeeded, but he did at least try and implement that. And through magic, you can find power. He probably did willingly teach him magic, after all. He probably didn't have to sneak around. He probably didn't have to really hide things under his bed, or whatever. He was probably pretty open about this. And thusly, that allowed him to get a little bit cocky, if you will. Maybe a little bit overconfident. And he relies on it. Maybe a little bit too much. He sees it as a simple solution to everything. Whereas Graham is a little more practical. A little more well-rounded. Now granted, what Graham is trying to do is also not very good. You shouldn't be trying to make your son be just exactly like you. Although I can understand why. Because Rosella is at least a little bit different, and he can't pass down his knowledge of the bow and how he acts to her, because at this point she's a young adult, she's probably pretty independent and going off on her own way. So, he focuses on Alexander far too much, because he feels like he has to. Because Alexander is his legacy. Gee. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Almost like there's a running theme or something. Anyway, this is the Königsberg problem in math. And I only know this because I took a fundamentals of math class during my college classes a couple years ago. And one of our problems was talking about, say for example, the Königsberg problem.
Where to, oh non-magical one?
In case you're curious as to what in the world that is, it's basically a situation where you have to cross all these bridges and get to all these little land masses, but you can't cross a bridge more than once. And when I learned about that problem, I looked at it, I heard the instructions of how to do it properly. Well, one of the main strategies to do it properly anyway. And I realized, wait a minute. I've seen this before. I've seen this kind of puzzle before. And that led to me, for a discussion that week that we were talking about it, bringing up this
Just so
game.
you know, I still need to practice magic for my act. It's Caduceus the Magnificent's big finish.
You want to be part of the circus team or something? Or you can do your talents elsewhere. Or than just that, come on. So yes, I I put that as my discussion post. Because in order to cope with the fact I was in a math class, despite being autistic, I did not get the quote-unquote math autism, so to speak. I got the artistic autism, I guess. I am not an expert on math, unfortunately. Oh dear, I think I might have messed up. Oh dear. But anyway, as I was saying, my discussion post for that week was on this, of course, as everyone was. And to cope with that, and to cope with the fact I was in a math class and I wasn't happy about it, the way I coped with it was I would always compare whatever we were discussing that week to a video game in some fashion. Like, say for example, the Fibonacci spiral I would compare to, say for example, items I'd seen in video games. Or just, say for example, talking about, say for example, the spiral in Wizard 101. For something like the MC Escher stairs, I would compare to, say for example, Quest for Glory 1. Or a certain dungeon in the layer dungeon in it.
Working together. The dueling archers. Well, the monologuing archer and Caduceus, the switch puller.
A layer dungeon in Wizard 101. That's gonna get you stuck. Yeah, I definitely screwed up. Oh well. And I brought up this game for the Königsberg problem because I found this very, very similar. What I found weird about it was, normally my professor during my class would just repeat back my points in the discussion posts. Normally, this wouldn't be all that bad. Normally he would understand where I was going from, and he would understand, repeat it back to me. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think it'd start over.
I think I'm stuck.
Yeah, sorry.
Where should I start?
But what was weird about this one was the fact that I explained the basic premise of this chapter and the context that surrounds this puzzle in context, and this chapter, and this game in general. And then he proceeds to not parrot back the puzzle, like what I said about the puzzle. He then proceeds to parrot back to me the premise of the game. Like, as if that matters. I will never understand that. I was so baffled. what was even weirder was the fact that I had launched into a whole big, long explanation about, say, for example, Quest for Glory, or that one Novus dungeon in Wizard 101 connected to the Escher Stairs thing. But, like, he didn't pare it back what I said about that. He just pared it back what I said about the puzzle. What I said about... What I said about the phenomenon. So that was very strange to me, you know? There we go. I swear, I normally am not this brain dead about this game, but not like I'm feeling my best today.
I think we were getting this. With a bit more training, Alexander would make a great king for Daventry.
Huh. I swore you could talk to him there, but I guess not. I wish we got more opportunity to talk to Alexander, and I wish that Graham responded more too. Because I like their snarky banter. And I wish we had more of that. Gwendolyn had to get it from somewhere, after all.
Well, I guess we should get this snow on the road.
Oh, I'm not really into punning.
I
Will be.
see. Well, I was just playing around. No need for the cold shoulder. Or a meltdown?
Please stop.
Oh, come now, Alexander. Everyone in Daventry loves puns. Give it a shot.
Fine. What do you call family of koala bears in the Arctic?
Bipolar bears.
Not bad.
You call them lost. Really, really lost.
That's not too bad.
That's more of a punchline than a pun.
He'll get used to it. We know he will.
Alrighty, Alexander. Let's get to work on solving this.
Or perhaps we could just, I don't know, blast a hole in the ice over there.
What? Alexander, we are not in a race. The goal is not just to forge a shortcut to the end. This room has been carefully crafted with conundrums to expand our minds and foster our creativity.
With a sliding tile puzzle? I'll be waiting over there.
I understand both of your arguments here. And I do kind of feel bad for both of you, because neither of you are truly happy in the situation. Ooh, wait, before I do that.
Please don't linger on this part of the story.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, a bit ominous, isn't it? They're looking more and more person-shaped as we go along.
Are you sure you don't want me to melt that ice? This puzzle could be a lot simpler.
I don't know, I think I can get by without it.
If I burn through this puzzle, we could get to the ladies a lot faster. And I could get some journal time in.
Yeah, you can do that when we're well rested back home, I think. Because right now, this vacation is not shaping up to be the best.
Just let me know when you want me to use my magic. Can't you just plug your ears while I snap?
Alexander! Alexander, I like you, I like your sass. But don't downplay your own father's trauma like that. That was one of the worst nights of his life. That's why he's so harsh on you in the first place. I'm getting ahead of myself, as always, about this chapter.
Please let me blast it. Let's see what the big deal is. But Dad, everyone else from Ludor uses magic.
That may be true, but how many of those are using magic of their own free will, you know? How many of those actually wanted to use magic? How many of those people actually find that learning magic actually helps them in their daily lives? You know?
Just let me use magic. I'll feed all the chickens when we get home.
I mean, you don't have to do that. You're a prince now. We have servants for that, son. I appreciate the thought that you want to help, but still. I don't think the people in the royal stables would appreciate that.
This just isn't fair.
I would say, well, life's not fair, but that's not a very good response.
Fine, have it your way. I won't ever use magic, and I'll just throw all my talents away. I can't even.
You'll get over it. But, of course, it's not exactly good for Graham to do either. I am technically not on either side of these people at the moment. I sympathize with both. I understand where both of them are coming from. But you both have issues to work out.
Move that long piece over here. Let me melt that ice. Watch your head.
Hey!
Alexander, I thought we agreed not to use that magic in here.
Well, I didn't see another way.
You're not following the 4 E's.
Dad, I'm 18. You don't need to talk down to me.
He's not technically wrong.
Sorry, I'm not sorry. You gotta admit that was clutch, right?
Maybe not in this scenario, no.
Those mad fire skills, though.
Although I have to admit, yes, it is cool.
I don't mean TBR, but that was savage, yo. Let's take a break on the small talk and just chillax.
See? You're a punny guy. You just won't admit it. You're at that age where basically just like...
Have you shared this story with Mom?
Queen Casimir used to have quite the wild side as well.
Queen Casimir. Really? She used to be the wild one? Interesting.
Perhaps it would be easier to be his friend. This parenting stuff has its limits.
That is true. Anyway, being Casimir once had a wild side to her, did she? Interesting that you bring that up now. That kind of implies that maybe she and Alexander had more of a connection than we thought. Maybe she related to him. Maybe she used to be a bit of a spitfire too. And yes, I did notice that he technically mispronounces her name. I have a theory about that. Actually, a 3-in-1 theory about that, actually. Theory 1 is actually a mistake by Christopher Lloyd himself, and no one bothered to correct him. 2, in universe, that's just how he pronounced that name in his accent. Or 3, it's just a sign of developers. Yeah, we're doing our own thing with with this world. Please do not be mad at us for it. Because frankly, it's not a big deal.
I'm not sure how the story is supposed to help me with Gart.
Stay with me, sweetheart. Sometimes it has to get worse before it can get better.
Mm-hmm.
I need a break. I'm gonna go wait over there and think about what I'm gonna write in my journal later.
What in the caduceus grace is journaling?
Oh, like the shining stars, I'm not Gwendolyn Caduceus Jr.
I've been meaning to ask, what was that syrup smell in the throne room?
That could be one of 2 things. It could be either someone's cooking chocolate chip pancakes somewhere, or it could be that number 2 is still there in the throne room. He could have survived. He could just be a ghost haunting the castle. We don't know. I'm not sure if we ever see him again past chapter 4's intro. So he might very well be a ghost.
I wasn't expecting this adventure to be so linear.
Yeah, that's understandable. Even I will not begrudge this chapter for doing that. After all, this is a labyrinth. You would think it'd be a maze, but it's not. Because I think, like I said, we're walking right into a trap.
Aren't we supposed to collect a bunch of crazy items and then use them on random objects?
You're thinking like an old school gamer. We haven't done that in ages. But how very niche-like of you to think like that. That's what you expect. I wonder, just do that in Ludor?
So, you figured out that the labyrinth is most certainly a trap, right?
Yeah, he probably is. I think he's just in denial.
I've said my piece. Now I'm going back to reflecting. Whoa-ha. Whoa-ha.
My apologies. I'll let you get back at it.
I do have to admit I was starting to get frustrated at that boy's lack of participation. I didn't say anything, though. I didn't want to end up in that journal.
Oh.
Can you please stop that snapping?
Sorry, it's a nervous habit.
No, even if Graham didn't have trauma with that sound, I would find that annoying too. I don't like little repetitive noises like that.
You're doing it again.
Sorry.
There we go.
Alexander, please. That sound is bringing me back to a very dark place.
Bringing him back to a dark place. And nobody seems to acknowledge that. There we go. That was surprisingly easier. Easier than most times. Most times that puzzle's a pain. Okay. Let's move on.
Another conundrum solved. Just imagine what you could accomplish if you actually knew each other longer than, how long has it been? 18 years, give or take a few key moments. Oh, wait. That's how long you've been apart. Apologies. Sometimes I mix up numbers and dates.
Rather condescending, isn't it? And how do you know that? Ooh. Oh. Ooh. This could be potentially interesting.
This looks really hard. Please don't.
I can't help it!
Oh, come on, Dad. This is really embarrassing. Oh no.
How many switches are in this trap? Is this the final gauntlet? Have we reached the end? Will we make it out alive? Will we use our bows? Does this labyrinth give out prizes? Oh, what if the prizes are custom jackets? Can ours say the dueling archers, please? When can we schedule a pun war? How about every day that ends in Y? Isn't this so much fun? Aren't you excited you're back? Cause I am! What size crown do you wear? When do you want to begin addendum training? Tell me, are you more the brave, the wise, or the compassionate?
Graham, you're
You can
breaking
choose how to
physics,
solve this
stop!
conundrum as long as we do it together! Yes!
Straightforward.
Why would you do that? It looked like so much fun.
I'm not like you. I can't handle any more puzzles.
That magic is dangerous. See? This is what I warned you about, that snapping, that horrendous snapping. It's what took you away from us, and I forbid you to use it.
Forbid me?
This magic is part of who I am. I just wish you could see that. Look, we're not some happy family just because I'm back. I wasn't there on your adventures. I don't know what the tapestries that line the walls mean, and I don't know why you insist on wearing that ridiculous hat.
Well, if you didn't want a family, then why did you come back?
I was looking for a father, not a commander. I'm not one of your subjects to be ruled over. If I wanted to be a slave, I would have stayed with Manannan.
Ooh.
Please don't ever compare me to that man. He robbed you of your childhood.
Well, like it or not, Dad, I'm already grown up. And you're robbing me of my adulthood.
You shouldn't talk to your father that way, Alexander.
Look, I don't even know that name. Let's just split up and search for the girls. You have your way of doing things, and I have mine. I'm just slowing you down.
Fine, leave! Again! You know what? You are slowing me down!
Shame. All these twisty staircases look like so much more fun than those sliding tile puzzles.
Yeah.
Where did I go wrong?
People do not like the fact that Graham and Alexander fight in this chapter. Because this is the first time we've ever seen a more hot-headed Alexander when he's young. This is the first time we've ever seen an Alexander who actually has a temper. This is the first time we've ever seen an Alexander who is not immediately perfect, and who is not immediately accepted back into a perfect, happy family as soon as he's back. There is conflict. There is friction. There is a rift between them. And it's something that nobody in the series have really done before this point. Because most times, when Alexander returns, things are fairly okay. You know? He's welcome back into the family, no harm, no foul. Hardly any trauma on either side, aside from maybe the occasional nightmare or nighttime wandering to the courtyard. But Alexander has a much easier time readjusting back into Daventry life because his life with Manannan was so darn awful he probably would take anything else. But not only has Alexander gone through trauma, Graham has gone through trauma too. In trying his best to keep ties with Alexander, he has only driven him further away because he wants him to be like him. He wants him to be the boy that he wanted him to be. And he's not. If he had stayed, if he hadn't been kidnapped, things probably would be so much more easy. But they grew up in completely different worlds, completely different environments, completely different people raising them. And thusly, that's going to cause a rift no matter what. And he's trying his best to make him be more like him because, well, as I said earlier, Rosella is not him. Rosella is going her own path. Rosella is doing her own thing. Alexander is his last shot, pun very much intended. And reference very much intended at getting someone to pass down that legacy to him. His legacy of the bow, his legacy of what he's learned, of his wisdom over the years. To have that be ignored, that sucks. Have that not be what Alexander wants to know. Be what Alexander wants him to be. That sucks. But at the same time for Alexander also has a point. When you are raised in such a horrible environment, you look for any sort of outlet, anything to escape from the horrible treatment that you've been given. For many, it seems like it probably was games. It seems like it probably was learning how to manipulate people and how to trick them. And for Alexander, he was learning as much magic as he could in order to escape. Not out of survival, but just to give himself a better life. Manannán wasn't going to kill him in this timeline. Manannán was going to mold him and groom him into being the perfect puppet king. Because there is no way that Manny would just allow Alexander to rule unopposed. To rule unmanipulated, unfettered. He was going to manipulate him no matter what. And that Sphinx above us, who keeps commenting every single time that things are a little screwy around us, seems very suspicious. The Sphinx there seems to know a lot about us. He knows Alexander's name. He knows us as Mr. Majesty. And she seemed to emphasize that, oh, we can only get through this together, but, well, it is rather interesting that she only shows up after both Rosella and Valenice seem to disappear. And the team are separated into two people who do not really match up well. Just a little suspicious, isn't it? And things have reached their deepest, darkest point. Their darkest hour. But, in our darkest hour, perhaps we can find some light. Don't worry. I'm sure things will work out. Perhaps what we really need is just to talk and to calm down. Maybe that was cathartic. Here we are, present day.
Should we save a plate for Dad? I brought him food earlier. He refused to eat. He's too preoccupied with this next big adventure he's cooking up in his head.
Oh.
You know, that's just like Dad. Once adventure is on his mind, he can't focus on anything else.
He's never lost his drive. You have to give him that.
Well, I've never regretted retiring my questing boots. It allowed me to devote my full attention to raising my daughter. Isn't that right, my little cuddlebug?
Aww.
Dad, stop. You're embarrassing me.
Oh, come now, Alexander. We were raised going on adventures and we turned out just fine. Well, you know what I mean. Oh, look at Gart. He's been questing since he could crawl.
Aww.
And shaping up to be quite the handsome prince, if I do say so myself.
Well, thanks for saying so, Mother.
Oh, I do hope you decide to take Gwendolyn on her own adventure soon. She's got it in her blood. You can't keep her safe forever.
You have to grow up.
She can go out questing for danger when she's older. We like to do things a little differently in the Green Isles.
You can say that again. Not enough addendums and far too few decrees. Pardon the interruption, milady.
I see. Thank you. Gart, the chambermaid found this crumbled up in your waste bin.
Uh-oh.
I am assuming it fell.
Yes, thank the shining stars they found it. I was looking all over for that. It must have blown right off my desk. Give it here. I'll deliver it right after supper.
No need. I'll deliver it myself in the morning. Gart, I told you to keep the windows closed in your room. It's so breezy in there.
Can you please pass the peas?
Gart, did you not hear Gwendolyn?
Oh, apologies. I thought that was a nint mouse squeaking in the courtyard. What did you say?
I asked you to please pass
Gart? Please pass the peas to your cousin.
The little highness can reach them herself. I'm not here to serve her.
You
Oh, no.
would be honored to serve.
Children, that's enough.
Yes, my queen.
There you go, dear. Or was that so hard? Now, can we just finish up dinner in peace? Grandpa would like to speak with everyone after dinner.
Ugh.
I hate the smell of that lavender. When I'm king, we will never serve those abominations again.
Oh, do tell us, Gart. What qualities do you possess that would make for a good king?
Oh,
Well,
no.
for one, I've been raised in this castle and trained to properly take over the kingdom. Unlike some other children who have only had adventures in their imaginations.
Boys, I don't like where this conversation is going. Daventry is our home, Alexander. You chose to run away with the princess and rule over her kingdom. Who else besides Gart would make a good king?
I don't know. I hear Kyle has some big ideas.
Kyle? Really? Uncle, you're acting like a buffoon.
Well, if this is how children raised by royalty treat their elders, then I'm proud that Gwendolyn and I grew up outside these castle walls.
What? So now your family is too good for Daventry? It would be an honor for me to be king. But for you, it's just a burden?
Knock it off, Gart!
No! You're just a little girl. Nothing more than a dreamer. If you didn't encourage Grandfather's ramblings, he might actually notice that I am the only man for the job. Sit down. You're embarrassing the family.
Excuse me?
You will never be half the king Grandpa is. And he would never, ever leave the kingdom to such a spoiled, thoughtless child. I may be a little girl, but you're the one that needs to grow up.
Distress.
I think it would be best to cool off in your rooms. Everybody. No one is allowed to see Grandpa until you can all get along.
Grandpa, can I come in?
Gwendolyn, you've disobeyed your grandma by sneaking in here. I was told everyone was sentenced to their chambers. Do you know what that means?
That I should go back to my room, take this time to reflect in my journal.
No. It means you should pull up a chair, and I can finish this story without any more interruptions.
I think I crossed the line tonight.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Good thing this story is all about crossing lines.
So, that dinner scene. That's a rather infamous scene. I think a lot of people misinterpret that and assume that Alexander and Rosella have like some sort of rivalry. That like, they never get along. They're always like this. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just meant to be a parallel to Graham's story here. Things are heating up on both sides of this debate. Alexander and Graham are clashing. And things end in fire and destruction. Gwendolyn and Gart are clashing. And things are ending in fire and destruction. But this time it was prevented.
Do you think the beard is too much? My wife says it itches her, but I think it's dignified. So, how long have you been working here?
You're trying to make conversation with anything at this point, aren't you?
So, where are you from? Ooh, sounds exotic. Is there a spot for picnics around here?
I mean, you can probably picnic anywhere where it's flat. I don't think you necessarily need to ask. And that's another thing too. I don't think what Gwendolyn says about Gart, that fact that he's a spoiled, selfish brat, I don't think that she's wrong. Because in previous chapters, we have seen exactly that. He is not someone who respects Graham's stories, who understands their morals. He is not someone who learns from them. And that's a big part of their dynamic. The tragedy of Gart is the fact that he probably didn't really have all that much of a childhood when you really think about it. If we're under the impression that Alexander, at some point in his life, he does not have to do it immediately after the events of King's Quest V, or even this. But like, at some point in his life, he did meet Cosima. He did fall in love with her. And he did go through the events of 6, and that changed him. And he ended up ruling over her kingdom instead, as its king. And he found that a lot more mellowing out. He found that a lot more relaxing and calm and chill. Alongside the fact that, he obviously matured and, became less hot-headed as he grew up. And found someone who loved him. And a good family, of course. And as I said, that led to a very boring lifestyle for Gwendolyn, which is why she loves summertime, because she always ends up back here. She always is sent back to Daventry to spend time with her grandpa. And people continue to look upon this situation and say that, oh, Graham's a jerk. He doesn't love Gart the way he loved Gwendolyn. Why is he focusing on Gwendolyn so darn much? We'll see. We'll see. I don't think that Graham hates Gart. I think he does love him. It's just, in this particular scenario, he has to focus on her. Besides, you only get to see her probably once, maybe twice a year. So of course he's going to focus more on her because he gets to see her less often, whereas Gart, he sees him pretty much every single day. It seems almost like adventuring in a way is symbolic of growing up, given the fact that Alexander doesn't let Gwendolyn go on them. He wants to keep her safe. Whatever it was that he's experienced post all this changed him. He mellowed out and he realized maybe it's better if I stay home. Maybe it's better if I just be there for my family. We don't know what caused all this to happen, but we do know that by the time that Gwendolyn is born, by the time that Gwendolyn is raised to however old she's supposed to be, I assume she's around 10 to 12 years old, that he's mellowed out immensely, to the point that she considers her home life boring. In fact, they were going to emphasize this a little bit more, actually, initially. According to a transcript, Gwendolyn also remarks at some point that they have, say for example, quiet reading time, for example. And also another little bit of worldbuilding that they sadly cut, I assume because they realized that we can't really find a good place for these comics to be made, is the fact that she says that she's tried to do the snappy magic thing, but she can't. She's tried snapping her fingers like that, and nothing's come out. No fire. Does that mean that she has magic, but she hasn't discovered it yet? Or does she simply doesn't have any magic at all? We don't know. But maybe, as time will tell, maybe she will gain her own form of magic that's different from her parents. Assuming that Cosima herself is also a magic user. She might not be. We don't know. And obviously, the fact that you ran away with a princess and chose to rule her kingdom, obviously that's making a reference to the long path ending in King Quest VI. Because even in that ending, he turns back towards Graham and he says that he's sorry he can't rule over Daventry. Graham takes it surprisingly well, but in this universe, maybe he was a bit more concerned about that.
Don't pay those statues any mind.
Oh, wow.
They're just all previous adventurers who are not nearly as clever as you.
Previous adventurers, huh? Some people theorize that Manny has been sending people down here too. That maybe as like a test. Or it could just also be a grave robber situation. After all, a big old ice palace built in a labyrinth? That sounds like a perfect dungeon to explore, guys, right? Right?
Who sculpted those guards?
I couldn't shake the feeling that they seemed like first drafts, failed attempts at some larger art project.
Yeah.
Rude? Just as I suspected.
But it seems like Graham is all alone now. And maybe he can finally have some time to think and go about things his own way. Next time, let's see what Graham can do all on his lonesome, all on his own. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon.